all the windows and turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
Or the air conditioning broke, and all the windows were closed and you weren't at home. And so that's one of the things you can also do with an aquarium controller is you could get another temperature probe and literally just put it in the air. And so when it's in the air, it will tell me the temperature of the room that it's in.
Yeah.
You could probably get the same thing from like a Nest or something too.
But the hard lesson here is that the Nest may be a bad idea. Not so much so that you're monitoring the temperature of the ambient room, but for different reasons.
Okay, we'll share that in a second. I can't wait to do that. Okay, so the temperature probe, though, if you get another temperature probe and you just put it in the ambient air of the room, I will know if my air conditioning failed, I will know if my furnace failed, I will know if somebody with little teeny fingers decided to monkey with it, I will know if we opened up the windows, I will know if somebody just did something silly in the house that is going to cause a whole series of problems outside of my heater, because your furnace and your home's AC are the primary temperature controls of the tank. You're just not thinking about it that way.
Yeah, we use ambient room temperature probes on the E170 and the ULMs when it was in your office, the 750. I just found out last night that the 750 secondary was getting cold, the tank was getting cold, and the secondary heating element for the 750 was set to be controlled by the actual ambient room temperature thermometer, so it wasn't even kicking on because it was 78 degrees. But it's little things like that that trigger something. If my tank's going 80 degrees, 81 degrees, I'm like, oh man, is there something wrong with my house? I look at my house, it's like, oh no, it's 76. Something's wrong with the tank.
All right, tell me why the Nest is bad.
We added that the Nest may be a bad idea. I love smart outlets. I love smart things. I love the smart Nest thermometer. Thought I really wanted one for my house. These things were going to be cool. I can control my temperature from not even being at home. I can turn the AC on before I get there. I can turn the heater on before I get home. Come to find out, like, I have a reef tank in my house, and because the ambient room temperature is the primary source of heating and cooling for my tank, I have to keep it, within a reasonable range, whether or not I'm home or not. I can't leave home for the weekend, shut my heat off, or turn it down to 50 degrees, because I have a tank in there that now my heaters have to work 3 times as hard. Vice versa in the summertime. I can't turn my AC off when I leave because I need that cold air conditioning for my tank.
Yep.
So they're cool. It's just when you have a tank, it's a different story.
A Nest was about turning it up and down based on the fact whether or not we're in the home.
Yeah.
Well, now we have other organisms we're taking care of. We got a slice of PG living in our house that actually requires this as well.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So in that spirit, another hard lesson: letting the heater melt the sun. Right. So this will happen primarily. The number one way this will happen is if you put the heater in an area where it could ever be exposed. And when I mean ever, I mean under any weird experience that you could ever have, it will expose. Number one being you put the heater in the return pump area and the outer top off failed, and that little area evaporated pretty quickly and it sucked all the water out.
That's an artifact from what we talked about yesterday. If you don't need like adjustable or variable water levels, then for me the best return chamber doesn't have baffles in it. It's just the whole sump itself.
The second most important part of this whole thing would be if I got a heater that was too big, those big long units.
Turn it sideways.
And I had to turn it sideways, and then if anything ever happened